I like to ask questions so I don't have to be a guesser. This is Ross the boss, but he's not a hairdresser. I thought I'd try to throw
all right.
I don't know.
You're good. If I get stumped, I'll call you.
Right, you call me. This is Ross the boss. All right, so you've got 7 locations. You've taken it from 2 to 7 locations. You're paying a royalty as a franchisee of Fantastic Sam's. He changes the rules. He's about to gut your price structure, your margin, and the loyalty bond you have because you've tried to create it in an environment where a hairdresser, stylist, a colorist, whoever, where they feel like I've got a secure base of employment, and in exchange for that secure base of employment, I will work with integrity and be loyal and keep my customer relationships here. I mean, it was a win-win situation.
If I say it's got to be win-win-win. If the client doesn't get a value, they're not going to stay. If the stylist doesn't get a value, they're going to leave. And if I don't get a value, then I'm out of business. So it's got to be all the way.
So you launch out on your own. Now, if you leave a franchise agreement, though, didn't you have non-competes? Didn't you have...
Well, what happened is we bought our way out. And so we paid him the right not to be part of his organization. Wow. That was what the year's royalties was for. And so since I had been doing ads for Fantastic Sam's as the boss, I was stuck with a nickname. So what am I going to name the place? Well, it's been, hi, I'm Ross the boss for Fantastic Sam's, so it became, hi, I'm Ross the boss for Ross the boss. And so that's how we arrived at the name. All of the stylists had nicknames in an effort to prevent them from going down the street and taking their clients with them. Well, we allowed, because we're no longer part of the franchise, for them to use their real names. And so everybody got to use their real names except me. I was stuck with Ross the boss.
That's been a good thing for you, though.
It's been a wonderful thing.
So now you're at 12 locations and a spa, and you've been in the business. You are a model of possibility. Your enthusiasm is infectious. It seems like you lean forward into life. How'd you get that way?
Well, I had a deal. I said, Lord, if you let me be successful, anybody who knows me really well will know that I'm not smart enough to do this on my own, so they'll know it was your blessing. And he's lived up to his end even when I haven't lived up to mine.
Even as a businessman who's not a hairdresser, how has that worked in this industry? How have the professionals, not that you're not a professional, but how have the professionals in the industry, how did they embrace that?
They didn't embrace it too much. But the staff that came to work for me, I didn't compete with them. I wasn't trying to do a client that they were trying to do. I had to refer to them my clients. And so it worked out really well because I'm not a competitor. I'm not behind a chair making money, cutting hair, coloring hair, perming hair. I make my money off of them. I tell them that what happens is they're really performers. And my job is to get the client in for them to perform, like a singer or a concert.
Right.
If they give a good concert, it's easier for me to sell the tickets for them to come back again. And they're going to rebook and say, oh, I'm a fan club. And so what I want to do is I've got to find the location, I have to find the clients that are going to fit the demographic and have what we have to offer as their goal. So that's to match them.
Did you think your life would turn out the way it's turned out?
No.
Is it better than you expected?
It has been more glorious than I ever hoped.
Really?
Yes.
What's the most surprising part about your success? What of your success, when you look back on it, made you go, wow, I didn't know that was coming?
I survived in spite of all the mistakes I made. About the time I decided that, wow, I'm getting really smart, I'd go do something really stupid. And then I would come back and humble myself, and the Lord seemed to let me recover.
What's one of the toughest things you had to push through? What's one of the biggest mistakes you had to flip?
I went out of town. I went to Tri-Cities with a couple of salons, and I went to Nashville with a salon, and I'm going, I got off the road to be with my family. Why am I going out here trying to get big, and all it does is just detract from the main thing, and that's to be family and be part of a community.
Tell me about your family.
I've been married to the same woman for soon to be 45 years. I have 3 children. My son, Ross the fourth, is a hairstylist and manager of the Turkey Creek location. The 2 girls are both married and have 3 kids each, and they're stay-at-home mothers.
I understand that you are an incredible tennis player.
I think incredible probably leaves something to be desired. How about tolerable tennis player?
All right. So let me run through. You give me quick answers on these. What have you learned about success?
I believe that hard work is definitely a thing about it, but I think that also integrity and being able to be counted on, letting people know who you are and being that person.
What have you learned about failure?
Try not to have it be a permanent condition. It's all right to fail, just make sure it's not something that costs you your business or your life.
What have you learned about business?
It keeps changing.
What have you learned about money?
It keeps changing. Money is, I don't care about money in that I want to have a decent living, but we have never aspired to be rich. We lived in the same house for 30 years, and
you're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Yeah. What have you learned about love?
I had a friend of mine who died of cancer the other day, and he said to me, he says, you know what? I don't know how your wife feels about it, but you've been a really good husband to her. And I thought that was a very kind thing for him to say. I married the woman I'd looked for since kindergarten. I told my mother, what do you expect? I got to find a wife, because I've been playing on the swings with the little girls. But I found the love of my life, and she and I have worked together for many of these years, and I have been blessed with love.
What have you learned about God?
He forgives me when I make mistakes. And he has been gracious to me, and he has honored me when I have honored him, and even when I have dishonored him.
What have you learned about possibility?
I think that we're limited only by our heart. I would say don't focus on just the money. Focus on what you're going to contribute to the community and to the people you work with, and the money will follow.
Ross the Boss, thanks for coming by.
Thank you. It's been an honor to meet you and be here.
I got to say, you're the best, and it was my privilege to have you here as my guest.
I like that.
We'll see you next time.